We can see question tags in this video. What is a question tag? Tag question is a short question form added at the end of the declarative or assertive or imperative sentence. It is generally used to draw the attention of the listener and to seek confirmation. Sometimes they are used to encourage reply from the person who is spoken to. Tag questions are commonly used in conversations and not used in formal English. We can see the formation of question tags with rules and examples. We can work out exercises also in this video. Positive statement takes negative tag and negative statement takes positive tag as a rule. Tags are mini questions used at the end of the sentence and never starts with a capital letter. See the example. You didn't write the test, did you? Here, this did you is a question tag. The sentence, you didn't write the test, expresses negativity. There is not in this sentence, so we must not use not in question tag. The positive statement takes negative tag. See this example. It is hard. This is a positive statement and so this tag is negative, isn't it? It is not hard. This sentence is negative. So we must not use not in tag. So in the sentence, if there is no not, question tag contains not. In the sentence, if there is not, question tag will not contain not. See, in this sentence, there is not and so there is no not in question tag. In this sentence, it is hard, there is no not and so we must use not in question tag, isn't it? If the subject of statement is this or that or it, the subject of tag will be it. If the subject of statement is these or those, the subject of tag will be they. If the subject of statement is one, the subject of tag will also be one. See the examples. This is my book. This is a positive statement, so we must use negative tag. Is not. We must use is not. The contraction form of is not is isn't it. That won't work. Instead of won't, we must use will. Because as this is a negative statement, we must use positive tag. These are apples. Or is here. We have to use or not. The contraction form is aren't they. Those girls are selfish. We have or here. We must write or not, aren't. Instead of those, we have to write they. One can't be so ignorant. We have one in this sentence, so the subject of tag must also be one. We have can't here, so we must use the positive form of can't. Can. Can one is the answer. It's written in French. It is given here. So we must write the negative form in question tag. Is not, isn't it. He is a doctor is a positive statement. So this positive statement takes negative question tag. Instead of yes, we have to write is not. But we must write the contraction form. Isn't is a contraction form of is not. Then we must write the subject here. He. Then we have to put one question mark. This is the question tag. Then next sentence, she is a teacher. This is also a positive statement. So in question tag, we must write not, isn't she. We have to bring the subject here. He is a clever boy. Instead of yes, we have to write isn't, then subject he. This is a subject of question tag. They are not fools. This is a negative statement. So we must use a positive question tag or and then the subject they, then question mark or they. My mother is not lazy. This is also a negative statement. So a negative statement takes positive question tag. Yes. Then instead of mother, we must write she. We have to use pronoun only. We must not use noun. Instead of my mother, we must write she. We must use contracted or short form in question tag. Example, doesn't, aren't, don't. When forming question tags, don't use noun and must use pronoun only. See, we must not use nouns. Instead of noun, we must use pronoun only. Example, the shirts are expensive. Aren't they? Here, we use they instead of the shirts. The shirts is noun. We must not use a noun. Instead of noun, we must use a pronoun they. So, aren't they is correct. Use helping or auxiliary verb to form question tag. We must use auxiliary or helping verb. He is playing. See, is auxiliary verb. So, we are writing isn't he, is not he. The contracted form of is not is, isn't, then the subject he. In case if there is no auxiliary verb in the sentence, we must use do, does or did. If action verb is in present tense, use do or does according to number. He runs fast. This is a positive statement. He is a singular subject. Runs is present tense. So we must use does. As this is a positive statement, we must use not. Does not. The contraction form is doesn't. Then subject he. After that, we have to put question mark. They work hard. They is plural. Work is present tense. As this is a plural, we must use do. And this statement is positive. We must use not here. Don't. They. Then subject they. Singular subject and present tense means we must use does. And plural subject and present tense means use do. If it is past tense, use did. If the action verb is in past tense, use did. Ramesh ran fast. Ran is in past tense. This sentence is in past tense. And so we must use did. Ramesh is the subject here. Instead of Ramesh, we must use he. We must use a pronoun he. As this is in past tense, we must use did. And as this is a positive statement, we must use not also. Did not he. The contracted form of did not is didn't he. They worked hard. Worked is past tense. So we must use did. The sentence is in positive sense. So we must use a negative tag. Didn't they. Points to remember when we deal question tags. If a sentence starts with someone, anyone, somebody, everybody, no one, nobody, anybody, each, none and every, Use a plural pronoun they. Everybody welcomed the idea. This is a positive statement. Welcomed is past tense, so we must use didn't, and instead of everybody we must use the pronoun they. Nobody was permitted to enter. Nobody. So this is a negative sense. So we must use a positive tag. Instead of was, we must use a plural verb here. Where. Instead of nobody, we must use the pronoun they. Where they. Somebody can enter the garden. Positive statement. Can. So we must use a question tag can't. And instead of somebody, we must use a pronoun they. Can't they. Anyone could have done it. Could is an auxiliary verb. Positive statement. So couldn't. Instead of anyone, we must use the pronoun they. Couldn't they. Imperative sentences must be changed as follows. For both positive and negative imperative sentences, we must use the question tag will you. You is a subject in all imperative sentences. It is superfluous. That is, it is understandable. Please open the door. Will you? This is a request. We must use the question tag will you. Keep silence. Can't you? For command, we must use the question tag can't you. For urgent need and for offer, we must use the question tag won't you. For request, will you. Most probably, we must use the question tag will you for imperative sentences for both positive and negative. As I told earlier, in negative imperative sentences, we must use will you. Don't make noise, will you? Don't ask silly question, will you? For both positive and negative imperative sentences, we must use the question tag will you. A few and a little convey positive idea. A negative tag is used to them. A few boys went to the picnic. That means some boys went to the picnic. So this is a positive statement. Went is past tense, so didn't, and we must use a subject they. They is a pronoun here. Instead of a few boys, we must use the pronoun they. If a sentence starts with let, use shall in the question tag. Let's start our work. If you see let's, we must use a question tag shall. Shall, and as is here, so we must use the pronoun we shall be. Let me go to the park. Shall I? Instead of me, we must use the pronoun I. Shall I? I think she is on leave. I don't believe it's true. I think and I don't believe are additional information. So we must see this sentence. She is on leave. Positive statement is here. So isn't she? Isn't she? I don't believe it's true. It's true. And here we have I don't. So negative statement. So is it? Is it is a question tag here. If the subject of the sentences start with everything, anything, something or nothing, the pronoun it should be used. Instead of everything, nothing, something, anything, we must use the pronoun it. Everything is all right. Positive statement, isn't it? Instead of everything, we must use the pronoun it. Nothing can be done. Can, can't. Instead of nothing, it, can't it. Something will happen today. Will. So, won't. Instead of something, it, won't it. Anything happens in our life. Happens is present tense. So, does. Positive statement. So, doesn't. Instead of anything, we must use the pronoun it. Doesn't it. Semi-negative words like few, hardly, rarely, scarcely, no one, seldom, never, little are used as follows. They give negative meaning. These words, few, hardly, rarely, scarcely, No one, seldom, never, little gives negative meaning. Few students attended the class. Here, few gives negative meaning. Attended is past tense, so we must write the tag in positive form. Attended is past tense, so did and they. Did they? There is hardly any flower in the tree. Hardly gives negative meaning, so is there. She is scarcely aware of the tragedy. Scarcely gives negative meaning, is she. Rarely does she visit a temple. Rarely gives negative meaning, does she is a question tag. Little progress has been made in this project. Little indicates negative sense, so has it. Little gives negative meaning and your little gives positive meaning. Shall we move to exercise? Fill in the blanks with question tag. The tree can't bear fruit. Negative statement. We have the auxiliary verb can. So, can it. Instead of the noun the tree, we must use the pronoun it. Can it. She was feeling cold. Auxiliary verb was. Positive statement. So, wasn't she. She is singing. Positive statement. Auxiliary verb is. Isn't she. I am working. Aren't I? Instead of am, we must use aren't. Am, aren't. You have to remember this in mind. Am, aren't. The plumber fixes pipes. There is no auxiliary verb. Main verb fixes is here. It is in present tense. So, the statement is in positive sense. So, doesn't he. Male. So, the pronoun he is used here. Doesn't he. Hawkers sell goods. No auxiliary verb. Main verb is here. Sell is in present tense. Hawkers is plural. So, don't they. Hawkers sell goods gives positive sense. So, the tag is in negative form. Dhoni has a motorbike. Has positive sense. So, hasn't he. Instead of Dhoni, we have to use the pronoun he. Germany has won the match. Positive sense. Hasn't it. Raja hasn't answered my question. As in negative statement. So, we must use a positive tag. Has. Instead of Raja, we must use the pronoun he. Has he. They had a meeting last week. Positive sense. So, hadn't they. Hadn't they is a question tag. I found nobody there. See, nobody gives negative meaning. Found is past tense. So, did I. Children do not hate sweets. Do not, negative meaning. Do they. Instead of children, we must use the pronoun they as it is plural. No child is below 4. Negative meaning. Is any. Is any is a question tag. David never gets up early. Never gets up. So negative meaning. Gets up. Gets up is present tense. So does. And David is male. So he. Does he. Few girls came back to thank. Few indicates negativity. So negative meaning. We must use a positive tag. Came is past tense. So did. And instead of girls, we must use the pronoun they. Did they. We could find them there. Positive statement. We have the auxiliary verb could. So couldn't we. Stop the car. Imperative sentence. Urgent need. For urgent need, we must use won't you. You is a pronoun in all imperative sentences. Cash me. This is a command. For command, we must use a tag can you. Wait for him. As this is a request, we must use a question tag, will you? Bolu is a good singer. Positive statement, we have the auxiliary, modal auxiliary is, isn't Bolu. We must not write isn't Bolu. Bolu is a masculine gender, so he. We must use the pronoun he. Isn't he? He can't drive a car. Negative statement, we have the auxiliary verb can, so can he. You will win the prize. Positive statement, will, so won't you. People voted for him. No auxiliary verb. We have the main verb voted. It is in past tense, so did. Positive statement, so the question tag must be in negative sense. Didn't they? Instead of people, we must use the pronoun they. Kumari is a genius. Positive statement, is, so isn't she. Kumari is a feminine gender, so we must use the pronoun she. Isn't she? They have a building of their own. Positive statement, we have the auxiliary verb have, so haven't they. We used to play cricket. This is a positive statement and the sentence is in past tense. So, did is used here. Didn't we? Negative tag, didn't we? He has passed the exam. He apostrophe s. We have the confusion whether to read this as he has or he is. But when we read the sentence, we can come to the conclusion that he has passed the exam is correct. Positive statement, so we must use a negative tag, hasn't he. He apostrophe is 20 years old. Same pattern, but here we have to read the sentences. He is 20 years old. Positive statement, so negative tag, isn't he. She has a car. This has indicates possession. She owns a car. So we have to use the same verb in question tag also. Positive statement, so negative tag, hasn't she. But see this sentence, he has dinner at 7 p.m. We must not use this has in tag. Here this indicates regular activity. This is in simple present tense. So we must use the simple present tense. Doesn't he. Positive statement, so negative tag, doesn't he. Dinner is not a possession also. If she doesn't perform well, she will not get the prize. This is a complex sentence. If she doesn't perform well is a subordinate clause. She will not get the prize is a main clause. We have to see the main clause. She will not get the prize. This is a negative statement. See the verb will, so will she. Positive tag, will she. Although they are rich, they don't show pomposity. This is also a complex sentence. Although they are rich, subordinate clause, they don't show pomposity is a main clause. Negative statement, don't. So, do they. They is a pronoun here. Do they. Moving on to the next sentence. Some of them were late. Positive statement, so negative tag, were, weren't they. Instead of some of them, we must use the pronoun they. I have understood the lesson, but some of us have not. See the second part, but some of us have not. Negative statement, so positive tag, have. Some is here, so the pronoun they is used here. Have they. This isn't all the information you have. Negative statement. Yes, it. Though we have this in the sentence, we must use it in question tag. If the subject of statement is this, subject of tag will be it. This is a rule. We need rain. Positive statement. Here, need is the main verb. Simple present tense. Plural. We have plural. So, don't be. Negative tag. You need not come. Here, need is a helping verb. Negative statement. So, positive tag. Need you. Moving on to the next sentence. She dare not speak to me. Here, dare is a helping verb. Speak is the main verb. She dare not speak to me. This is a negative statement. So, dare is the auxiliary verb. Dare, she. He would not dare go out alone. Here, dare is a main verb. Would is the auxiliary verb. Negative statement. So, positive tag. Would he. Here, dare is the main verb. Need and dare can be used as main verb and helping verb. Exercise number 2. Choose the suitable question tags. They often quarrel among themselves. Quarrel, simple present tense. Positive sentence. Negative tag. Don't they. He can speak English. Auxiliary verb can. Positive sense. Can't he. Can't he is the answer. He has a car. Possession. Positive sense. Hasn't he. You can't play chess. Negative statement. Auxiliary verb can. So, can you? Positive tag. John came late. Positive statement. No auxiliary verb. Main verb came. Past tense. So, did. Negative tag. Didn't he. Instead of John, pronoun he is used here. Didn't he. I won't punish you. Negative statement. Won't. So, will must be the answer. Will I. He hardly plays cricket. Hardly. Negative sentence. Plays simple present tense. So the tag must be in positive sense. Does he. He is singular. So does he. Shreya is reading a book. Is the auxiliary verb. Positive sentence. So isn't she. You weren't singing. Negative statement. Where. So the answer must be in positive sense. Were you. We have seen the match. Positive statement. Have is the auxiliary verb here. So, haven't we. Let's go to the beach. If we have let in the sentence, we must use shall in question tag. Shall we. As is here, so shall we is a question tag. We can see the answer with explanation. The children are very happy today. Positive statement. Are is an auxiliary verb. The children is plural. Aren't they. question tag is negative. You have not returned my books yet. Negative statement. Have is a helping verb. So have you is a question tag. We enjoyed the trip very much. Positive statement. Enjoyed is past tense. See, when we see past tense, the word did must come to our mind. Positive statement, so negative tag. Didn't we? Let's clean the shells this weekend. As soon as we see the word let, shall must come to our mind. Here we have as, so we must use the pronoun we, shall we. My mother rarely travels by bus. There is no auxiliary verb. Here we have main verb travels, simple present tense, and we have this rarely. This indicates that this sentence is negative. So the answer must be in positive sense. The tag must be positive. So simple present tense, does, and here we have mother, my mother. So she is the answer. Does she? Somebody must bell the cat. Positive statement. Must is a helping verb here. So negative tag. Mustn't, someone. Instead of somebody, we must use someone. Anita never comes late to office. Never. Negative statement. No helping verb. Comes is a verb here. Simple present tense. Singular subject. So does she. I am always the winner. Positive statement. Am is here. So aren't I. Aren't I. Don't commit this mistake again. Imperative sentence. So will you is the answer. You is a subject. This is superfluous. There is a pharmacy near that bus stand. Positive statement. This is a verb here. So negative tag. Isn't there. Bacteria can never survive in extreme weather conditions. Can never. Negative statement. We have the auxiliary verb can. So positive tag. Can they. I am not as smart as you are. Negative statement. Am is a verb here. Am I. In question number 8, we gave the answer aren't I. I am always the winner. For the question I am always the winner, we gave the answer aren't I. But here we have to write am I only. For negativity we can write aren't I. Here if we write or I, it's wrong. We have to write am I only. The boys broke the window pane last evening. Positive statement. The sentence is in past tense, broke. So didn't they. Negative tag. Leaves wither during autumn. Present tense, simple present tense. So don't they. You should add a little salt to the buttermilk. Positive statement. We have the auxiliary verb should. So shouldn't you. Cities are increasingly becoming urbanized. Positive statement. Are is a auxiliary verb. So negative tag. Or in they. They experiment with ways to improve air quality. Ways, simple present tense. positive statement, so don't they. The aim should be to reduce congestion. Should is auxiliary verb, positive statement, shouldn't be. There is an urgent need to provide, positive statement, isn't there. Automation and shared mobility, this is also a positive statement. Will mobility will play, so won't it. It changes the way people commute in cities. Positive statement, simple present tense changes, so negative tag, doesn't it. Before long, this is also a positive statement. We have the modal auxiliary helping verb could, so negative tag, couldn't they. These shared AVs will run at higher utilization rates, positive statement. Will is a helping verb here, so negative tag, won't they. They can substantially reduce the cost of mobility and conjunction, positive statement. Can is auxiliary verb, so negative tag, on they. These should not be, so negative statement. Should is auxiliary verb here, so positive tag, should these. This is a conversation. Let us see how to answer this conversation with question tag. Jayant, hello Anish, it is your physics exam today. It's is a auxiliary verb here. Is a auxiliary verb here. Positive statement. Isn't it? Anish, yes. They have set a very long paper, yet I managed to finish the paper. See the second part of this conversation, second sentence, manage, past tense, so did, positive statement, didn't I. Jayant, true, my maths paper too was very long, I couldn't finish it. See the auxiliary verb here, couldn't finish it, negative statement, so could I. Anish, I could not solve my paper properly. Could is auxiliary verb here, negative statement, so could I. Jayant, okay, actually my question paper was very easy. Was positive statement, so wasn't it. Anish, mine wasn't easy. I made a silly mistake. Made. See this sentence, I made a silly mistake. This is a positive statement. Made is a past tense. So didn't I, negative tag. Jane, tell me about your English paper. This is an imperative sentence, so won't you. Jayant, for me, my letter writing was the best. I didn't make a single mistake. So I didn't make a single mistake. This is a negative statement. So did I? Positive tag. Anish, okay, I've got lots to study for tomorrow's exam. Positive statement. Have is the auxiliary verb. So haven't I? Jen, me too. So see you later. All the best. Bye. Anish, thank you. Wish you the same. Bye. I hope it's clear. Question tag is clear. Thank you.